you should take action. All you need to do is to make sure that the child is properly clothed, and then the nostrils that may ooze need to be cleaned to prevent the child from moving from
simple to
severe conditions. And then the other thing is you need to properly clothe the child in this Harmattan period, because once you leave your child to walk in this dry, moist wind, the chances of that child getting the disease is high.
Unfortunately, if the child got pneumonia at home, what advice are you going to give mothers or caregivers? What are they going to do?
You know, you need to observe certain signs and symptoms before you can actually say, let me go to the health center. But for a layman at home, it may be difficult to know this child is suffering from pneumonia. The best thing for one to observe at the house is, if you realize your child is suffering from running nose and is running temperature all the time, the best thing for you to do is to run to the nearest health facility. Or if you realize the child is having runny nose but without fever, you need to prepare home remedies like honey and lime, give it to the child for a period of 1 day or so. If you realize it is not proper, the best thing you to do is to go to the nearest health facility.
Thank you, Kausu. Rohi, you said the Minister of Health and in collaboration with UNICEF are doing a lot of interventions in the Gambia here. And I believe if you look at the child mortality is very high, probably in URR and CRR. What type of intervention or activities are you people doing at that level?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jallo. That is a very relevant question. In terms of the intervention, as we rightly said, the 6 key household behavior that we are talking about right now. In Basse, we have done series of sensitizations, and Bansang, we have sensitized the MDFTs, that is the multidisciplinary facilitation teams. Yes, we have talked to them, sensitized them about these key household behaviors. For them also to go down to the villages, talk to the people, sensitize the community to also know the importance of these key household behaviors, how they can prevent themselves, how they can control these diseases, and above all, to promote the good practices of this behavior. For example, hand washing. Hand washing is not a treatment or a cure, but it can prevent diseases. So many diseases, especially diarrheal diseases. You wash your hand, it is the first step to prevent disease. You wash your hand, it prevents you from bacterial disease or viral diseases.
Yeah, exactly.
But when we also talk about hand washing, we mean hand washing with soap and running water. This is what we promote. We promote exclusive breastfeeding for mothers to breastfeed their children, because evidence has shown that exclusive breastfeeding is very relevant in the growth and the development of the child, both in the IQ and in the physical, ability of the child, and also prevent diseases. ITNs will prevent us from mosquito bite. That will eventually prevent us from malaria. And we try to embed that in the youths and women of this country, because the women are the carers of the children. Once we inculcate in them that habit of hand washing, eventually it will go a long way in preventing so many diseases. From there, you also have the preparation of oral rehydration solutions, sugar salt solution, to manage diarrhea at home level. For example, when your child have diarrhea, you see the child passing tools persistently and vomiting. What you need to do at that point before you get to the health facility is very, very important. Yes, we teach them how to prepare those things so that they can manage diarrhea at that level. That is also very, very relevant. I think, and also household water treatment. From the mix survey, I think as a percentage of this country at a particular area are not, how to call it, they don't have potable water to drink. So we also teach the community how they can purify their water through filtration, bleaching, or boiling, to make the water potable for human consumption, from the point of collection to distribution to consumption. This is also very relevant.
And just to remind you that on the 15th of this month, there will be World Pneumonia Day, and the Minister of Health is trying to celebrate World Pneumonia Day by creating a lot of interventions, aggressive health communication interventions in the areas that are mostly affected, that is URR and CRR. And I learned that there will be sensitization on pneumonia signs and symptoms. How can we prevent them at home? And if we get them to also, where do we seek medical attentions. Can you summarize what you are saying?
What is key here is one should be very vigilant with your family. And once you realize anything that is abnormal, the best thing to do is to go to the nearest health facility. But for pneumonia, one very important thing one can observe in order to know that this child is at risk is fast breathing. It may be difficult for one to know what is fast breathing, but if you see a child breathing on and on and on, you should realize that this child needs medical care, and you should rush to the nearest health facility. And when I say rush to the nearest health facility, doesn't mean you should always let the lady to take the child alone to the health facility, because sometimes the child might fit on the way, and when the child fits with a woman on the way, most of the time it can lead to so many unforeseen circumstances.
You know, when we observe fast breathing, cold, we should be very vigilant of those things. Most of the time we take it to be common cold, but sometimes it progresses into pneumonia. Fast breathing. When we see that, let us rush to the nearest health facility, and we are calling on the men to come on board to support the women. The health of the family is the responsibility of all partners, both men and women. It's now time that men have to come on board to help the women in caring for the children and for the health in general of the family. That is very important.
Well, that's all we had time for in this edition of your Women's Magazine. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, do join us next week when we'll bring you another edition. Till then, have a wonderful week.
nanka déedéet duñ def nanka waa lu tax loolu Tiara flavor drink dafa neex waaw waaw wax le ma ci flavor yi ma dégga an orange laa bëgg man strawberry laa bëgg man mango laa bëgg man pineapple coconut laa bëgg